Hey guys! It's Teresa. So today I'm going to be doing another language video. If you haven't seen it, I made a video about all the language books that I had used up until I moved out of Jamaica, and I'll link that video in the description box down below. But today I'm going to extend that video just a little bit, introduce you to the new books that I've gotten since I've been in Korea, and my daily studying routine to keep up with each one of my languages as a polyglot and to push myself further into fluency and all of that wonderful jazz. Here is my bag. First book I'm going to show you is this book. So it is called 일본인이 가장 많이 쓰는 일본어 표현 300 Volume 2. So this is a Korean book made for Koreans to learn Japanese, but it's actually pretty good. It's separated by days. I think it's about 4 expressions per day. Sorry, 5 expressions per day. So this is the first page. So you can see it says day 1 here and then a page here. Basically, what it does is it gives a long explanation in Korean. So I'm, studying both Korean and Japanese at the same time. The first phrase in the book is 고지훈이, which means in Korean 좋은 대로, 마음대로, which in English means with good intentions. Then right underneath the explanation and the translation, they have a conversation example, which is one of the things that I definitely look for in a book. The way that they use it in the sentence is 고지훈이 도zo, which means use it to your own pleasure, or go ahead and use it to your own pleasure. The second book is also for Japanese, and it is also a Korean book because I did buy them in Korea. I find it's a lot easier to learn from Korean to Japanese than it is to learn from English to Japanese, as well as it's good studying for both languages. It is called 스피드 일본어. It is a grammar book pretty much, and there's a lot of vocabulary as well, but it's pretty well structured. The only thing that I don't like is that there isn't a very long explanation on each grammar point. There's just the grammar point, a translation or equivalent in Korean, and then some sentences underneath to show you how to use them, which is okay, and I'm using it well, but I would prefer if there was an explanation. Later I'm going to make a video on what I look for in a language book before buying it. There are certain things that if it's lacking in the book, I won't even pick it up. Like, I won't waste my money on certain types of books. So if you're interested in seeing that, make sure you subscribe, you click the red button down below. I'll make sure to give you that video in detail. In this book, it's like this. So the topic is put over here, and there's like a Korean passage explaining like a cultural something, and then the grammar points that's going to be covered in this chapter is also placed in forward. Then as you continue, there's a dialogue between a Korean and a Japanese guy. There's also like listening and reading and exercises as well that comes along with the book, but I find that for self-learners, exercises aren't that important. But of course, it depends on the person. That's just my opinion. This book. Okay, the next books I will be showing you are books for Korean that I've been using in my class here. I go to Hanguk Waede University here in Korea, and I did make a video about that as well. Link here and down in the description if you'd like to see it. I personally think that it is the best language school in South Korea. So if you're serious about coming here and studying Korean, then that is definitely the school you want to check out. So anyway, I'm going to show you the books that we use for that class. So it's not really a self-study, but I definitely could use this book for self-study. I think it's very marvelously made. So this is the book, and a workbook also comes with it, but if you're studying by yourself, I wouldn't bother buying the workbook at all. Waste of time. The structure is every chapter starts like this, and some pictures and a topic open for discussion and a foreword that tells you all of the points that we'll be practicing. Then there's a small passage, maybe some exercises, it's like some things to think about, so it really gives you a lot of opportunities to think and write in Korean if you like to practice that way, which I personally think is very good. Then there's a dialogue here. It comes with the CD, and in the CD there's a listening, so you can listen to this out loud as well. And then there's the grammar pages. So there's always 2 pages of grammar. So there's 4 grammar structures per chapter. Just to give you an idea, this is book 4. So if you want to look, I would always look through the grammar before you choose a book. This one, there's 뭐뭐 하기는커녕, 뭐뭐 하느니 차라리, 뭐뭐 하는 셈이다, and 뭐 한 김에 하는 김에. So that's there. Some more exercises, but I don't really use them. We use them in class, but I think as a, if you're studying at home, you don't really need. But it is very good practice for topic. So if you're gonna take topic, then you should do all of the exercises and all the books and also get the workbook. Then there's also a reading, 1 or 2 in every single chapter. So this one is about 떡. They're usually about 1.5 pages or 2 pages. They're quite high level. I think it really matches the level that you're at, because I looked at the lower level books as well and I was very impressed. The third thing I'm going to show you guys is some stuff online, because I do use a lot of online sources and shows to keep up with my language learning. So let's check that out.
Whoa, I have way too many tabs. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you here is this course. It's kind of just a Chinese course. It has grammar and exercises, everything, but I really only use it for vocab. You can see it has the pinyin, the Chinese Taiwanese version, the Chinese version, and all you really need to know, pronunciation, etc. Main vocabulary, supplementary vocabulary. So I think this is a very good source for vocab. However, I don't really like the pace of the grammar. So instead I use this Chinese grammar wiki, which, as you can see, there's example sentences, there's the characters, and everything you really need to know. Complete explanation here, so you can really, see exactly what you're doing. This is my preferred method of learning grammar. Here there is a chapter, a section that shows all of the grammar that they go through. So if you want to find a specific grammar or you want to have a cohesive list, it's all here for you organized. So of course I do watch shows as well, and not only on Viki.com, but this is definitely my favorite site to do so. There's Korean, Chinese, Taiwanese, Japanese, whatever type of show you'd like to see, it's all here. Right now I'm focusing on Chinese, so here I've been watching this show called What is Love, or in Chinese, 话是爱. So yeah, it's pretty cringe to be honest, but the more cringe it is, the better it is for language learning, right? Yep. So here I'm on YouTube and I watch a lot of videos to help with my language learning. So here you see Hajime Shacho is one of my favorite YouTubers. He is a Japanese YouTuber, perhaps the most famous Japanese YouTuber. I watch one of his videos once a week, if not more, sometimes even once a day, just so that I can get used to listening to Japanese and understanding comprehensively. I think this is one of the best ways to train your ear so that you can listen at a fluent level. As you can see, I have tons of subscriptions, and although not all of them are language related, there are lots of stuff that you can do. Here I also have a playlist on my channel for Chinese learning and every other language actually, that has videos that I recommend for learning Chinese, Japanese and Korean online. Here you can see a list of some of the videos that I recommend. I also have songs and videos that can help you practice, videos that explain grammar, everything is here. So yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about the actual schedule that I go through to keep up with this. So one of the problems is that a lot of polyglots fall into this trap of focusing on one language, which is also important to a large extent. So now I showed you exactly what I use, but let's just talk about how I'm legitimately keeping up with everything. So basically what I do is about every day for at least 2 hours I study some form of language, whether that be Korean, whether that be Japanese, or whether that be Chinese. I try not to make a really strict schedule, because if I don't feel like this language or I don't feel like that language, forcing it I find is counterproductive and it doesn't help you really absorb the language. So in light of that, I have these 3 notebooks here. This one is my Korean notebook, my Japanese notebook, and my Chinese notebook. And I try to do at least 1 or 2 grammar forms every single time I study it. I basically study each language at least twice a week, at the very least. Sometimes I try to do a little bit every day, but sometimes it doesn't work out. So maybe what you should aim for is just making sure that you set aside some time for language every single day. Then based on your mood and based on your schedule, you'll at least get some progress done, and that's really the goal, that you don't just end up spending a month and not even looking at a certain language. In addition to using those books, I also, like I showed you, I go through song lyrics, I go through all these different things. If you're curious as to what my book looks like, I set it up kind of like this. Spacious is key. So here I have vocabulary, and here I have some grammar points that I'm going through here. And I do that as well with my Chinese book. My Chinese book more than ever, actually. With Chinese, there's a lot of different elements that you need to study. So I start with some vocabulary, and then this book is character practice, and then there's some writing practice here. And as you go through, there's some expressions here and some grammar here. So I try to separate everything, that I make sure that I go through every aspect of the language in detail. Basically, that's what I do, and it's in these 3 books. I don't really do much other than that. I haven't really been doing Spanish that much at all, which is a problem, but that is how I keep up with my polyglot schedule, my polyglot abilities, every day to every week, or whatever the time schedule is. I hope this video helped you and that it inspired you to really get on your game. If you have any questions for me, language related, culture related, Asia related, lifestyle related, anything related, leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you in a future video or in a reply comment. Share this video with your other friends trying to keep up with any languages or whatnot. Give me a thumbs up if this video was helpful, or if you saw any habit that you yourself have. And take a second to subscribe down below, click that red button and join our family of coffee bean potato people. So I'll see you next week back at the Living Loving Language Cafe. Bye! To introduce you guys to where I live. I live in a church, and I did talk about that, not really talk about that, but mention that a couple of days ago. I pay absolutely 0 for my room, as well as I get free meals 4 times a day, so it is an opportunity if you